So we've heard a lot today about the intensity of the current cybersecurity landscape, how important security awareness training is, and how it needs to be about more than sharing knowledge, and traditional awareness training is no longer enough. So in this next session, you're going to get a glimpse into the future of security awareness and culture building. Be a part of the movement that empowers individuals not just to adapt behaviors, but to forge powerful digital instincts and delve into transformative strategies to learn how trailblazing innovations are equipping both security professionals and everyday users to navigate this very challenging, evolving threat landscape. So to do that, our next speaker, Gonc alo Gaiolas, or as we call him in SoSafe, Gigi. Do you want me to give you the rest of the intro?
Very good job on my name. Excellent. Thank you so much, Shannon. And thank you for that lovely attempt of pronouncing my difficult name. So everybody, you can just call me Gigi. You know, look at this. Who would have thought that one of the top use cases of AI-generated content would be to remind the middle-aged man that he's going bald, right? I look at that, it's like, that's the only thing I can look at. But anyway, look, I don't know about you, but for me, this has been an incredible day. I haven't been at SoSafe for very long, over past 6 months now, and really walking in the midst of true cyber heroes. I get that a lot at SoSafe, talking to Nicholas, others, my product team, but just here with you on the ground, the customers, everything that you're doing, everything that we're learning, the enthusiasm, the palpable enthusiasm of this new way of thinking has been absolutely amazing. And today we want to talk about building these digital security instincts, going one level down from what we have done as an industry. When I was interviewing for SoSafe, you know, we had multiple conversations with Nicholas. He's a fantastic character, as you can probably glean just from his presentation this morning. And one thing he said really stuck with me. I could not let go of this. He told me, Gigi, 90% of every breach out there, you can always trace it back to a human. And we saw this in Inge's phenomenal presentation. We heard all about this. It always goes back to this human element. This is why we're all here. This is what we believe. This is why SoSafe exists and other companies like this. So, you know, and I've been in software for 20 years now. I'm saying, okay, if this is true, and I've interacted with security professionals, then if you go look and follow the money, it must stand to reason that as an industry, we are investing most of our money in this. But lo and behold, that wasn't true. We invest a significant amount of money in technical controls because, frankly, this is what all of us understand. All of us, you know, number of people in security, they come from an engineering, a software, a technology background, and only 15% on this human layer. Now, we like to think of this as a little bit the old way, right? This idea of how we used to do things before. So before, people would be happy with just checking the box. It's very compliance-centric, this idea of, you know, we will do the bare minimum to satisfy. One thing that I have not encountered a single person here, because this is a forward-looking community, this idea of users are a liability. We should treat these people as risks. They are idiots, right? And instead of thinking of them as these people, they can be part of the so-called human firewall. And certainly, it has been an underfunded, like we've seen, discipline. It's treated non-strategically. We don't have time to communicate. We don't have time to go the extra mile. It's just one more thing we have to do. But we know where this thing led us. We know what the result of the old way is, right? These are Gartner numbers, very, very impressive. 68% of all employees, they intentionally bypass the things we've put in place. And, you know, we wonder why then some of the things that Inge has to go fix and others like you know, why do they happen? They happen because folks actually know, rationally in a lot of ways, they know that they're not doing the right thing. They know that they're engaging in this risky behavior. But, you know, if you get an actual person to speak their minds, they'll say, I just can't, you know, I don't care enough. I have another job to do. I'm paid to do another thing. And you're putting all of these barriers in front of me. So at SoSafe, we ask ourselves a lot, how can we help with this? How can we accept this and just go to the next level and help treat people like adults and humans and a part of the solution and not a part of the problem? And as you go through this set of presentations, learn from all of these cyber hack experts, I want to ask you, how does the world today, this world we move in, how does it make you feel? And when I ask these questions around, I get these different questions again, or answers. You know, people say, it's cautious. You heard John this morning, worried. Like all these cyber actors and these nation states, and it's a very complex world, and a bit of optimistic as well. Some of you, to me and to us at SoSafe, it leaves us in an excited state. It leaves us in an excited state because we can see the future. We're building that future with you, with our community of users. There's folks interested in this. We're at the beginning of this new way of doing awareness training, of building human risk management, of taking our employees or users along on the ride with us. And that new way is about three things. Three things that we try to incorporate, to codify in our product, to really deliver. And we've worked incredibly hard to get to this point. And we're going to continue to work incredibly hard to go down this path. So the first way is, it is not okay in the age of consumer internet. We've had consumer internet for more than 10 years, incredible products. It is not okay for our products, for our security awareness and training, to not be incredibly engaging, to not help people develop those strong security instincts, something that doesn't come only from the mind, it comes from a second nature. This is the Holy Grail. Why is this so important? Because right now, or actually in 2 years' time, we're going to handle 175, I think it's like zeta billion type pieces of information. That's what the world's going to have. It's hard to comprehend. But right now, right today, what's happening with you, with your employees, modern workers, we drown in information. I know you feel it. I feel it too. Everybody I talk to feels it. This idea that we process, on average, 175 newspapers per day of information. So this is fertile ground for everything that we've seen today from an attack vector perspective, right? This is why, a lot of it is why it happens. And as an industry, security, awareness, and training, I don't think we've done a phenomenal job at recognizing this and building products and experiences that are different. A lot of SAT products, a lot of security awareness and products, they tell, they don't show, they're not concerned with actually driving that fundamental change. Content is absolutely boring. It's this one guy, like bolder than I am, 50 years old, like talking for 2 hours. Who wants to do that? They do a lot of just-in-case training. Let's just give them all the modules we can because we want to be ready just in case. Not just in time, because it's actually happening in this ever-changing world. And it's a blanket approach. Everybody got to do the same thing, and you got to do it all over again, year after year. And it punishes the top performers, the people that actually learn and have demonstrated the behavior. So there's got to be a new way, right? And at SoSafe, we live and breathe by this mantra, this idea that where others in this industry have complicated and talk about thousands of pieces of content, we simplify. That's it. That's my talk. I'm going to leave. No, I'm just kidding. As others complicate, we simplify. And if you're a SoSafe customer, you've seen this in real time, and we're going to now take this to the next level. So today, we're proud to introduce an innovation that a lot of you have been waiting for a long time, this idea of the SoSafe personalized learning, a complete new way that takes the individual at the center of the learning experience, and we think is the fastest way to behavioral change in the market. All compliance for sure, but behavioral change. In our early metrics and early research, we know that it takes about 30% less time in this approach to achieve meaningful behavioral change on year one. As you deploy, it takes less time. And we're all about this idea of we want to see behavioral change through phishing simulations and actual observation. But our job is not to keep you engaged in the SoSafe platform. Our job is to get you and your users back to their real-life jobs as soon as possible. We normally talk in the product team, if we could give folks a pill, they take the pill, they know everything that they need, and they're off on their way, this would be the perfect SoSafe product. So our job is to just accelerate the way folks transition into this digital instinct. Now, we know that in year 2, our research indicates that the time for folks that have learned and have practiced is going to go down by 50%. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that from your company perspective, no matter how big you are, how small you are, you're going to save hundreds of business days in the most precious commodity you have, employee time and attention. It's incredible. And it's just getting started. This is the most important thing we're doing at SoSafe, is focusing on this idea of getting your employees back to what you pay them to do, to what they want to do, which is their jobs. So how does it work, you might ask yourself. Let's go through a series of steps to understand how does it work. And I recommend that if you haven't done it yet, my colleagues there in the back, they're happy to then, after my talk, show you in detail how does it work and how can it work in your own scenario. So we start out by understanding the human, putting the human in the center, building a bit of a digital profile, if you will, with first-party data that we have, like click rates and run rates, but also SoSafe investing now in connectivity to your existing cybersecurity ecosystem and others. Data like, you know, who is this person? What do we know about their behavior? So that we can build a view that doesn't treat everybody like a gray persona. Like, we know the details. We can actually understand who you are. What skills do you have? What behavior have you engaged in? Now, obviously, your mileage will vary because you might give us more access to data, less access to data. We're a privacy-first company, but we build this profile. And what do we do with this profile? We can do very, very interesting things. We use a personalization algorithm that understands for who this person is, who this employee is. For today, what is it that we need to do? What interventions, what training, what do we need to do to get them to that elevated level of digital instincts, to get them to a more secure behavior? And once we do that, we have all the tools at our disposal. Training, phishing simulations, interventions, rapid awareness, you name it, everything that SoSafe and our partners are bringing to the market. So we can take an individual, personalize their training, and then deploy it, and it's engaging, and it builds on top of one of SoSafe's greatest strengths, our own content. When I talk to customers, I make it a point every week, I talk to customers, the one thing that comes across, and I think I've seen Martina here somewhere. The quotes I always get is, this is the first time I have used content that doesn't make me want to throw my laptop or myself out the window, right? So personalized learning builds on this idea of, we know who you are, we know what you do, we can drive the most efficient learning path for you on top of our highly, highly engaging content, and we then understand and we can give you insights into what patterns do you have of risk within your organization. You have risky behaviors, engaged behaviors, passive behaviors, and we can drive different strategies because folks are not the same. We have different people in our organization. We have to treat them differently. Okay, now, how does it look also from a user perspective? So this is, you can see this, you experience this for yourself. If this is a version of the onboarding experience, so as a user you start, you'll also notice, if you're a SoSafe customer, that we took a lot of effort. We completely redesigned our e-learning platform to be absolutely modern, super, super fast. It responds 40 to 50% faster than it used to. We're just taking the extreme level of efficiency for our users. So, you know, you're welcoming you to your new SoSafe experience. If we don't have your access to your human resource information system, we can ask you just a few questions through our survey hub capability, and we're going to slowly but surely build that profile. What does it look like for you? What do we know about you? How can we minimize the amount of content that we expose you to? And then after we do that, we can set up a personalized learning path. And this is what it looks like. Super modern, super fresh. Again, designed to get you in there, figure out what it is that you have to do. What's the minimum mandatory things that you as an organization have set up as fundamental? Because we all know you have compliance goals, but then what can we do next? And certainly building on top of our award-winning gamification capabilities, but very, very clean interface, very easy to use, something you would certainly get in a consumer product type situation. Okay, so very, very important. You get in, you watch the phenomenal SoSafe content, and then what happens next? Well, you keep going, right? And every week, you might be able to do one more course, one last course. But what happens about this repetition idea? You know, what happens? Do I have to do the course again? What happens next year? What happens in the next iteration point? Now, this is why soon we will introduce micro assessments that allow us to, instead of forcing you to go through content that you've already seen, content is awesome, but if you go through it many times, obviously, certainly you don't want to do that. It's going to tire people. So through micro assessments, we can forego, which is a couple of seconds, minutes of investments, we can understand and assess skills and understand how, if our users have displayed both the rationale and the actual behavior that we want them to learn. So in this specific case, we're going to go through a very quick survey and a very quick assessment. And by the end of this assessment, we can automatically skip the lesson. So that again contributes to that savings. It's always this idea of saving time for you, for your organization, so people can go back to what you pay them to do. So very, very important, developing strong security instincts. We know that the way in which you deploy these training programs, this personalization, the moment you engage in the type of content are high predictors of people learning these behaviors and demonstrating them in this complex world we live in. Now, we got to talk about reducing risk in real time, because learning is great, but then what happens in the wild is really what matters, right? So let's talk about reducing risk in real time and how SoSafe can help you doing that. If you've used SoSafe for a while, maybe you've stumbled upon or you've used our phishing report button, our phish assist capability, which lives within your email client and gives you indications and learnings as the action is happening. It helps you understand whether or not an email is suspicious, might be a phishing attempt, and it gives you critical information, it gives the user critical information to understand whether or not they're being exposed to phishing, either simulation or an actual attack. So this is, we've just redesigned this entire capability. We're going to keep investing in it so that we use this as a teaching moment, but also as a moment that activates your human firewall. Because this, as we've seen systemically and repeatedly throughout the day, still one of the big vectors of attack for any organization. Now, how does it work in your email? It's a beautiful thing. You get this email. If you do click on it, if you do get past phish simulation, I don't know if some of you have seen this, some others haven't, you get to this learning moment where we teach users exactly how to spot exactly what to look for in the next iteration of a phishing email, right? So why is this important? At SoSafe, we believe, obviously, in this positive mindset and teaching people and not blaming. I had this conversation a lot of times today. You know, should we be more aggressive to our users? At SoSafe, we strongly believe that you shouldn't. That you should take a learning mindset and help your users understand. Nicholas talked a lot about this, help them report, even if they stumbled and even if they did something that's risky and dangerous. So, you know, very, very important capability that's out there. Let's see, a second here. Okay. So it's a bit out of order here. We talked about phish assist. Very important capability that we're redesigning. If you haven't tried it, come talk to us. We can walk you through what it means and why it's important. But importantly, and this is where I wanted to get, what happens, we've gone through this cycle of receiving either a simulation or an actual phishing report. What happens after an email is reported? So, when I talk to customers, one of the things that I hear all the time is the phishing report button and phish assist have fundamentally changed the security culture in my company. This is direct quotes. And I ask, okay, why? Well, because now I get people this idea, this opportunity to be the leading node of the firewall, the human firewall, right? They can actually report things. Okay, so what is the natural consequence of that? Well, it's pretty cool because it gets to my SOC team. And what have you seen? And people tell me, well, the volume goes up. The volume of reported emails goes up, which is good. We get more stuff. But because of how SoSafe structures the reporting of the email, the time per email actually goes down. So it's a great, great, great thing. Okay, So, you know, when we looked at this thing and said, what can we do more? And the common feedback that we got from a lot of you was, well, but what happens over time is, even though it is a phenomenal experience for people to report, we're missing that last one step. When they report an email, our SOC analysts, they process it. But you know, we're doing a bunch of things. We're overworked like everybody else. How do we help our users understand whether they actually reported something that was dangerous, or just spam, or something different? You know, what happened there? So we thought about how do we help you reduce these false positives. And we're today launching in the early version of our new phish feedback capability. So what does phish feedback do? It helps you close the loop with the users. So users report an email, and we're going to integrate into your existing SOC workflows, and we're going to help you close the loop in a highly professional, and again, a way that teaches you and that changes the behavior of users over time. So always going back to this idea of treating users as an asset, not as a liability. So how does it work? You get, you've used the phishing report button, you've reported an email, and you get this automatically generated email because we've integrated with your SOC workflow. You get this automatic feedback about your report. So we give you information whether or not it was an actual phishing, and we get this data, which means we can further personalize your learning, right? But we also, in the body of this email, we also explain in detail what you could have looked for if you reported something that wasn't phishing, or we congratulate you and add that to your risk profile. So it's absolutely great. It's going to help foster that reporting culture, which we know is fundamental for for response times. It's going to help users feel heard. And again, it helps efficiency, not just on the user side, but also on your overworked security analysts. How does it work from an integrated perspective? So you got your users here reporting your emails using the phishing report button capability that SoSafe already had. Now, this then creates, typically in a lot of cases, a ticket in an ITSM or in a specific system that SOCs use. We're going to be deploying more and more of these types of integrations so that whatever you do here, and there's variability within different SOC teams, but whatever you do here, when you do resolve the ticket, when you say, okay, I've analyzed this, it was a phishing simulation, now how do you then close the loop? Just SoSafe will automatically generate that feedback email for you. So again, the idea of efficiency, the idea of taking one step further and integrating further into the existing or new workflows that you're developing as part of your security awareness program. So very, very interesting capability that we are doing here at SoSafe. Now, the user did report this real phishing attempt. What's next, you might ask, right? How do we go next? We've processed it, we've got it back to the user, we've added and updated their specific risk profile. So what happens next? That might be that's a good question. Well, in most of our customers' cases, if a phishing attack is happening, it might be a larger scale attempt. It might be one of the steps in the playbook that Inge talked about. So how can we help you as SoSafe go to the next level? So recently we launched SOFI, the rapid awareness capability, that allows you to go to that next level. It allows you to do a couple of things. One of the things it allows you to do is in this specific situation of you've detected a phishing attack happening in real time, it allows you to create rapid awareness in your entire organization. Why is this important? Think back to the last time you tried to get an urgent message across your organization. A lot of the feedback we get from customers is it's hard. There's a lot of noise. Again, 174 newspapers of information that we process every single day. So how do you reduce the lead time for folks that are having their busy day, and how do you get in front of them to say, hey, we're being victims, we're being attacked, we got to close all doors. We got to be more and more aware. So SOFI helps you with that. The way SOFI helps you with that is by being where you live, where most people do their work, which in a lot of organizations today is in their collaboration tools, like, for example, Microsoft Teams. So the way SoSafe does this is, from an admin perspective, you can create a message, group it, translate it, and then automatically put it in front of your users, measuring the reactions, measuring the notion that people actually then engage with this message. So it is an incredibly important tool for rapid awareness, but also for that continued creation of a highly valuable security culture. And how does SoSafe do that? Because growing your security culture is the third pillar. And how do we help you, and how does SoSafe and SoSafe help you grow on an ongoing basis a healthy security culture that includes reporting, that includes awareness? How do we do that, right? So today we're also deploying new capabilities in SoSafe, but before we actually do that, I particularly like this quote from Martin. This idea, I think it encapsulates what it is that we're trying to do in a very practical way. And there was also another panelist here that talked about this. This idea that we need to make cybersecurity a topic that people want to discuss in their free time. As they're, in the watering hole, around the coffee machine, that they're aware, that they know, that they discuss it, that they feel that it is an important, worthwhile topic, and that they collectively, it's part of our collective psyche, right? So how does SoSafe help you do this? SoSafe also helps you do this through SoSafe. So SoSafe allows you to very quickly craft messages that take existing content that's out there and make it unique or specific to your organization. So let's look at a demo of how that works. The specific, this is the back office for SoSafe. You can just insert a link here. This is a very typical use case. So a lot of you tell us, well, there's obviously a significant number of information sources out there, but I don't want to just like throw a link to people. Nobody's going to read the link, right? It doesn't work like that anymore. It's going to be one more thing. So how does it work? Well, with SoSafe, you can take those external information sources, and SoSafe is also providing some very interesting templates to just get you started. And with AI assistance, we can summarize these articles in such a way that it makes sense for your context. And we can take this message and then using, again, the presence of SoSafe in the tools that your employees already use, in this case, Microsoft Teams, we can deploy this message. And we can help you continuously, in real time, increase your security culture, right? Improve your security culture. Get that message in such a way that when you go for a coffee break, you can actually talk about it and talk about what's happening in the world. And it's happening. We see this. We go talk to customers and they tell us, folks are talking about what happened with MGM or what happened with Rockstar Games. It's becoming part of our collective psyche. It's incredibly important that as a community, as an industry, we get out of our own silo and get folks to think about this and make it more and more mainstream. In the morning panels, we talk about education. We talked about bringing this to become almost like a societal topic. We want to help that too, and we want to help that too with capabilities like SoSafe. Now, that's one side of the things, but there's another very important stakeholder group that folks talk to, and it's about management. In one of the panels we saw today, we were talking about this idea of showcasing the importance of cybersecurity because management teams have budgets and they'll allocate budgets, they'll allocate money. And SoSafe puts a lot of effort in helping simplify how you think about these programs. So this is our analytics capability. If you're, again, SoSafe customers, you might have seen us in the last few months, weeks, continuously putting out more and more innovation on our analytics side. This is a key area of investment for us because we believe that what you need to continue to have a productive, meaningful conversation on the business impact of cybersecurity is you don't need 350 metrics. You don't need super complex dashboards that only two people in the organization understand. You need something that's meaningful, that you can take to your board, to your management team, to your CEO, and you can see the progress. You can see where you're going. Because SoSafe has thousands of customers, we're bringing online things like benchmarking, so you understand how you're doing, what does good look like, how do you go to the next level. Our vision for analytics is, instead of just giving you a bunch of data and letting you figure it out, is to help you be pragmatic about what are the minimum set of things that you have to look for. Again, simplifying. And then, with the collective wisdom of everybody in this room, our amazing customer success team really then helping you drive meaningful actions so that your security culture goes up again. Very, very important area of investment for us across our product lines, from e-learning to phishing to SoFi. You'll see more and more updates rolling out in terms of our analytics, hopefully getting you everything that you need to have full visibility of your awareness program, your deployed human risk, and how you can actually significantly manage and improve that. So we're very excited about this capability as well, but it lives. Analytics specifically, they don't live on their own. Right? They're much better if you can live in the context of a wider enterprise ecosystem. So for 2024, where SoSafe is going, a lot of it is in becoming a much more integrated solution into your deployed ecosystem. What does that mean? Well, if you deploy SoSafe, you can just get started in the space of literally days. And we want to keep it that way. But we hear from a lot of you that you think of SoSafe as a strategic capability. You think of awareness as a key area of your overall cybersecurity program. And you want the SoSafe solution to connect back to other parts of your ecosystem. Things like your human resource management system, like SAP SuccessFactors, where you can get some more data from the employees so we better personalize it. Or you push back completion of courses so that it's part of a complete profile of your employee. So that's one use case, for sure. Things like Jira Software or Jira Service Desk to close the loop on your SOC analysts to help you with Phish Assist. Maybe things like Power BI, so you have integrated reporting across all of your cybersecurity programs, awareness being one of them. The point here being that SoSafe is going in a direction where we've heard what you had to say. A lot of you have been voicing this as you get more and more mature in your awareness programs and your usage of the SoSafe platform. And we're going to deploy more and more integrations to help with our existing capabilities, but to also help you create new workflows, like, for example, accelerating your audits and your compliance needs. So when we look around, when we started thinking about this idea of, okay, we want SoSafe to not just be a point solution, but to also be an important help in your overall cybersecurity platform, we started doing more research. What does that overall cybersecurity platform look like for our typical customers? And the average company out there, maybe your numbers will vary a little bit, has around 14, 15 different security vendors, maybe 32 tools. That number can go up from here. It's a complex ecosystem. You have a complex ecosystem. And a lot of you are going through consolidation initiatives, but it takes time, right? So you have a complex ecosystem, and we want to play well with others. We want to help you better integrate into your complex ecosystem, because it's hard out there. It's hard to navigate all these cybersecurity vendors. This is a non-exhaustive cybersecurity landscape, and a lot of you are customers of certainly dozens of companies here. It's 17 categories, 4,000 vendors. It's complex. Sometimes it has to be complex. But we thought, okay, we're going to take the product in a direction where it integrates better. We're going to be helping you do less administrative work, get better data in, better data out. That's where we're going with the SoSafe platform. What else can we do? As we scaled, we thought we have thousands of customers, many of you here in the room, more of you in the live stream. How do we scale this further? How can we contribute further to the advancement of this movement that's bigger than SoSafe, bigger than any of our organizations? Today, we also want to re-announce a program that we're very, very excited called SoSafe Perks. So this program allows you as a SoSafe customer, and you can scan this in, we will send you this information later. As a SoSafe customer, you have access to a number of perks, discounts, capabilities out of our growing number of partners. This is the list nowadays. With all of these companies, you have great benefits because you are a SoSafe customer, and this list is going to keep growing. As we build more integrations, as we build more partnerships, we want to pass not only the product value, the workflow value of all of these integrations, but certainly the community value for a lot of you. Now, to give you an example, for example, Little Evanta, it is a compliance automation player. You have €1,000 discount if you're a SoSafe customer, right? So, very, very important. It's one way for us to give back, not only with a product that works better, that is more integrated, but also to make your cybersecurity integration life easier. But there's one more thing that we have heard that would be highly valuable for you. And to announce that thing, I want to welcome back on stage my good friend Shannon. Please.
Thank you. So, as Gigi said, a big part of what we are wanting to do with a lot of these things that are coming up in our roadmap and with our general product initiatives and partnerships is really this idea of community building. So we don't want HoofyCon to be a conversation that happens once a year. As fun as today and tomorrow will be, this is something that we know is too important for it to only be kind of a flash in the pan. We want to continue these conversations every day, and we realized we really need to provide a platform and a location for that to happen and to keep it alive from November to November. So, with that in mind, in 2024, we will be launching what we're calling the Human Firewall Community. Still figuring out some details of exactly what this is going to look like. We're going to be launching it early next year, but we wanted all of you to, as obvious advocates of these topics that we're talking about today, to be the first to hear about it, to have the first access to it. We've got a QR code here to sign up and be one of the first kind of contacted as we start launching this early next year. But again, this is really the thing that's important to us, is to provide a place for all of you to continue networking, to continue these conversations online and offline. And there's a lot coming with this. So I hope that you're excited and will join us.
Excellent.
And then maybe one other note from me as a customer success professional and someone who's passionate about this SoSafe community that we're building is just another big thank you from us. So everything that Gigi has presented here today, that all of the new features, innovation that we're driving, is all a direct result of the feedback that you all provide to us day to day. So I really mean it when I say the phrase feedback is a gift. My teams talk to all of you every day. We learn so much from you all the time. And I think some of these G2 badges that you see are also a result, again, of that feedback, your trust in us, your support. So a bit cheesy, but just maybe to tie a bow on it here at the end, just a big, really big thank you to all of us, from all of us to all of you, and looking forward to continuing these conversations tonight, hopefully.
Excellent.
So I think we've reached the end of your keynote, Gigi. Any final words for the audience?
No, I think, what we're trying to do here, the point is, if you want to go fast, you go at it alone. If you want to go far, we do it together. I think we hear you. We want to do it together. To us, this is an important movement that transcends what SoSafe is trying to do as a company, and we want to be enablers for that, not only in the product and what the product delivers and what it gets back to you in the form of benchmarking, integrations, better awareness, but also as a wider community. And I hope to be, here next year, giving you more and more product innovation and talking to more of you about those amazing ideas you have to where we should take our solution.
Excellent. Thank you, Gigi.
Thank you so much for your time today.